Okay, so let's begin with the first flower. I would be beginning with a nice, elegant swirl in the center. Many times, as a beginner, the artists are not sure how to get the petals in right shape and right proportion. So I would be showing you two different types, two different techniques with which you can actually practice the proportions of the petals and get your flower element correct. So here I'm done with the swirl around, a swirl with a bump line around. To draw the bump line or just directly to draw the petals on top of the swirl is all up to you, but I always like to have the bump line as a base. So here I'm drawing the first petal. So while drawing this first petal, you need to decide what proportion that you are going to have of your flower, like as in how big or how small your flower you would like to have. So accordingly you draw the first petal. So based on this size of the very first petal, you are going to decide the size of your next petals. Okay, and then for that, what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to go in a clockwise direction, and I am going to use the edge of this petal as a guideline for the next petal. So here I am drawing another petal. Now I am using the guideline of that previous petal's edge, and I am going to draw the next one. And this is what I would do in a continuous manner, and I would keep on going in a clockwise direction. You may go anti-clockwise direction as well if you find that comfortable, but all you have to make sure is that do not jump onto the spots like anywhere around the swirl to draw the petal. You either follow the clockwise direction or the anti-clockwise direction, and that's how you make sure that all the petals that you draw are of similar size. So here basically the last petal, if you see here, that is kind of leaner than the rest of them, but it doesn't look that bad. Why? Because it is not squished. So it is perfectly fine if you are not drawing all the petals in a equal perfect, like 100% matching to each other. That's perfectly fine as long as you are drawing, as long as you're not squishing them onto each other. Your flower is going to look beautiful eventually. So this is one flower that I have shown you here. Now let's move on to the next flower, and with a different technique that I'm going to show. So here I'm just going to draw a dot in the center, and I'm going to draw a circle around it. So this basically is a guideline or is a tracing that you can have around your around the center, just so that to make sure that your petals are in a same size or proportion. Okay, so here I'm going to draw a smaller flower, and what I'm going to do is that using the same previous technique of using the edge of the previous petal as a guideline, I'm just going to draw the petals in a clockwise direction. So this is another way that you draw the flower. This is usually drawn in the center, where you are going to expand it into the bigger mandala or something, and you have to begin with a pretty small size of element or small size of a flower. There you can use this technique. Though if you are going to make flower cluster with a bigger flower like this, then I would always suggest to, instead of tracing the circle, if you go or if you follow this technique, the going clockwise or anti-clockwise, that's gonna save your time as well, and it's gonna bring your flower into a correct proportion. And if you are a beginner, if you have never held a henna tube in your hand, or if you are like practicing but you're not able to get this element correct, then I would suggest you to practice each and every element in this pattern separately. Like you need to practice the swirls first, then you need to practice the bump line, and then you need to practice the petals separately, and then you bring them all together into the flower and then try a flower. I mean, instead of jumping onto drawing the entire flower, if you practice it into the parts, then it's gonna help you get your element get correct, or the pattern get correct. Okay, so right here I'm going to show you how to make a flower cluster. So to make a flower cluster, always find a gap between two petals. It could be anywhere. I just chose this spot. It could have been here, it could have been here. Wherever you want to pick a spot, that's perfectly fine. And again, I'm going to draw the similar swirl and a bump line around. So in flower clusters, you have to make sure that each and every element that you're drawing is similar. Like I cannot have something like just a blob of a henna paste and then I would draw petals around it. That's gonna look different. It's weird. So I have to maintain the the uniformity of my element in terms of getting my entire design look nice and elegant. So here again, I'm trying to remain as close as to the previous flower that I have drawn, and in the same fashion, by using the guideline of previous petals age, I am drawing the next petals of the flower. And this is how I make it complete. Again, if you take a close look, you will notice that I am going pretty slow. Being a professional practicing henna for like more than 15 years now, I usually draw with a faster speed, but as I'm showing you the techniques and as I am explaining all the process to you, I'm going slow. But I would also recommend you all to maintain this speed. Go slow, do not rush whenever you are practicing. Whenever you are a beginner, never ever try to rush while completing your design, and that's going to help you in a long term. So my next flower I'm going to draw, let me draw this here so there's enough space. Okay, so here again, in between two petals, I am going to draw another swirl, and then I'm going to draw the bump line around it. And I'll be drawing the similar petals. Another important thing is to, as I mentioned earlier, uniformity is very important. So to keep it uniform, we are going to draw all the petals, all the similar kind of petals. I mean, in the flower cluster, usually 3 flowers. If you're drawing in a one cluster, the size of each flower is different, but the petals, what kind of petal you have drawn in the first flower, you have to maintain that uniformity in each of your flower. Now from here on, the possibilities are endless. To make this flower cluster even more elegant, we can add in some strokes to it. Like this is a pretty common stroke that you might have seen many times artists are using, and just a little dot around. So that's how you can draw. Or you can also have a petal added into this flower cluster. I can have one more petal over here. So while drawing these petals, or especially the petal could be of any shape and size, but make sure that it is going in hands in hand with the rest of the cluster, rest of the flower cluster. What I mean to say is that do not draw too big of a petal which would not suit or which would not go along with the flower cluster that you have drawn. Now when it comes to filling up these petals, usually drawing 2 lines in the center, and then to fill this up, begin from the center and go in an upward direction, like from here, like from the center to the outer line, from the center to the outer line. And when you begin from the middle part of this or the middle segment of this line, it's usually you do not mess up with the the way they are placed. You don't usually mess it up because we are drawing them in a slanting manner. So all of these lines are supposed to go in a slanting direction or slanting position. Now this petal requires a thick border like this, and here again so this is also called as a polish line in our henna field, where you have pressed the shape, then you fill it up, and then you again make the borders thicker, which are called as a polished lines. That way your design looks popped up and more elegant and more beautiful to the eyes. So if you see here, this petal that I have drawn is with a little bit of different shape than the previous one, but again, as I'm maintaining the same technique, as I'm drawing the lines from the center, now I'm drawing them from the outer line to the center, but again I have started from the middle section, so that way I won't go wrong. I won't mess up the design, I won't squish them up. So if you notice, I'm going pretty slow. I'm maintaining the space between 2 lines, and I'm continuing the motion that I'm following from the first line that I have drawn here. So that's how we're going to give the polish line or the thick line on the dressing, and that's how a flower cluster is completed. Now here again, to make it a little more beautiful, we can add in few little elements and just give a small dot. Okay, here again the line, many times the beginner asks the question, why does the line breaks? So the reason behind breaking the line is the pressure that you are putting is not continuous. Somewhere you are losing the grip on your tube. That's the reason why you see those broken lines. And here I am giving another stroke. So while giving these strokes, all I am doing is that I'm drawing a line, a straight simple line, then I'm increasing the pressure, and then again I'm releasing it while going towards the end, and that's how I create that effect. So this is how our flower cluster is ready. So friends, if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel, like and share it with your friends. And hey, don't forget to click on the bell icon to get the notification of my next henna tutorial video. Till then, keep hennaing. See you soon.